I'm about to take a trip to Norfolk to do a 5-day wildlife trip. Basically, what I've decided to do is to share with you what I put in my bag for any of my trips, whether I go abroad to Africa or America. I kind of take the same stuff. I'm a bit of a hoarder, and I always prefer to think that it's better to lug something along and bring it back again than to find that you're somewhere without a piece of equipment that you wished you had. So I kind of take everything but the kitchen sink, and it's not so much packing one bag, but it's usually 2 bags, and then I use equipment from each of the bags depending on the circumstances on the day. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Ken Hadfield. Welcome to my better photography channel. So here we are, and this is the basic bag that I travel with, mainly for international travel, and this is a think tank airport. It's a large capacity bag, but it fits within the tolerance of the airport carry-on baggage. This gear is never going below in the hold. I'd have to get off the aeroplane first. So I use this as a base, super piece of kit here. You get everything nicely padded out inside there. You can actually put this in any format that you want, which is great, so you can kind of fit it in for your kit, as it were. You get a little device there for padlocking it, like a wire, and padlocking it to a radiator to keep it safe if you've got it locked in your room. And also there's a cover there, a rain cover, should you need to use it, which covers the entire case. So what I'd first put in my bag is my main piece of kit. And this is my 500 f4 Canon lens. This is a superb lens, an excellent lens. It's heavy, it's clunky, but I tend to use it on a tripod anyway. But it is a lovely lens, and it's got me some great shots over the years, and that's first in the bag. My secondary lens is a shorter lens, which is handy if I'm, say, photographing in Africa from the car. I can't get out because you could get eaten, so I use the long range lens for long shots, but then I keep a secondary camera and lens for anything that's nearer, any larger animal that's nearer, which I couldn't get with my long lens. So this is a 70-200 f2.8, and it is fabulous. It's a one that I would have to take from my cold dead hands if I had to leave it, or had to be without it. Is not a question. This is, I use it an awful lot for my wedding photography. It gives a fantastic bokeh, and it is a real go-to lens for shorter distances. The cameras that I use, my main camera is this Canon 1DX Mark III, a good workhorse. It's the flagship of the Canon range, and it is quite a remarkable camera. It takes a lot of kind of wear and tear as I'm out and about, and this is the third, I think, of the 1D series that I've had, and again, it served me well for what I need. The secondary camera that I would use is on the shorter lens, is my 5D Mark III again. It's another wedding lens as well, but I tell you what, it does really get some great shots while I'm out with the wildlife. Not as good as with the other camera, but it's handy there if I need a short range shot. So that would go in that area there. Obviously, you're going to need lots and lots of memory, so I take lots of cards with me. It would be an absolute disaster to get out there and find that I had no space on my cards, so I'll keep a large number of backup cards in there to make sure I can get all the shots that I want. I will take flash units, basically just in case. They can be handy for macro shots, that type of thing. I'm not an advocate of using flash with wildlife in general, birds and other animals. Firstly, it disturbs them, and we're not there to disturb, we're there to record, not to frighten them away. And also, I don't think that you get a great shot using flash in general. I found that to be the case. Maybe it's just me, and I've even invested in something here called a better beamer. I use it so infrequently I can't remember what it's called. It's a better beamer. Basically what it is, it attaches to your flash with a Velcro, and it has a lens there which actually magnifies the flash. And I've used it a couple of times in Florida when it was getting to dusk and there was some birds from a range away that I was struggling to get a shot. I didn't like the effect, so I've got it and I pack it, but I probably won't use it. But the flash unit's there anyway. So don't forget that you're going to need your chargers. That's the first thing that goes in the bag after your cameras. And you're also going to need a lot of these. Yeah, this is your memory storage here. I keep loads of those just in case. I'm always terrified that I lose my images, so I'm multiple backup wherever I am, especially if I'm somewhere like Africa or the like USA or whatever, where it's not easy to store in the storage that I have at home. I have 12 terabytes of storage at home, which I can do. I can send images through Wi-Fi, but these I back them up to make sure I have lots and lots of backup shots. Obviously, you're going to need to have your card readers, and two different ones, one for the 5D, one for the 1DX. Great tip here, always have one of these, which is the file transfer cable that's supplied with your camera. That will not let you down, these might, so make sure you've got that, take it with you as a backup. I would love to have equipment that backs up, because it gives me peace of mind that I don't get out there and for the sake of one piece of equipment the whole trip has been ruined. So I would put them in there to make sure I can do the file transfer. I also use this is my shutter release, my remote shutter release, and as I said in an earlier video, this is something I use when I don't want to disturb the wildlife, where I can actually use back button focus. And back button focus means I can focus on a particular branch. I can then move out of the way and I can just watch for the wildlife coming in, and I don't even have to look at the viewfinder. I can actually just take the shot with this automatic release here, and that is another very useful tool. Batteries. Got to have some batteries there for your flash units should you use them for any other purpose as well, and I strongly recommend to anyone to consider using these particular black batteries, the Eneloop Pro. They are just incredible. I use them for my wedding photography, and I can get through an entire day's wedding with a pack of 4 of these in my flash unit. It is incredible. About 1,000 plus flashes, and they're still working at the end of the day. Incredible. Good value for money too. Rechargeable, low cost. When we're on the subject of batteries, obviously you're going to need spare batteries for your cameras, and those go in there. And little doodad thing. This is a little thing that I take, and it's one of those things where you don't think of that you might need it, but when you do, it's handy to have it. It's a bit like a little Swiss Army knife device here, with lots of little things here that could help you make a repair or help you to do something that will make sure that you get your shots. Torch, of course, I have a torch there for anytime you're wandering around in the evening. And I also put in my extenders. This is a Canon 2x extender. Remember, you use this, you're going to lose about 2 stops of light. So I only use an extender when there's good light, and or if the bird is just perched and not moving around. It's, to me, not great at moving subjects in lower light. So you need to remember that. If you want to use something else, use the 1.4 extender, and the 1.4 extender will cope with lower light. And in general, that's on my lens most of the time that I'm shooting, and it gives me just that extra little bit of range, especially for the smaller birds. A nice kind of mac there to kind of make sure that you stay dry. And the good thing about these is at the end of the day, it's a cagoule that you can push your camera underneath, so it means that your camera doesn't get wet either. It's not so important for me because these are sealed units, the cameras, and there's not much chance of them actually getting wet or moisture inside the camera body itself. I'll take a tripod now. This is a carbon fibre lightweight tripod. 2 reasons for that. First of all, we are very limited with what we can take on the aeroplane if we're going to Africa or America or whatever. They're really harsh with the limits that you can have. Secondly, it is light for when I'm moving around. If I'm trying to carry my camera around, it's much lighter than my normal one. And in fact, this camera here is sat on my normal kind of tripod. So this has never been a problem. He said, I've had people say, oh, that's really lightweight, but I tend not to leave my camera once it's on the tripod. I've either got a hold of it, or I've got one of the straps around my neck whilst I'm photographing. So I minimise the chances of disaster. But that's more than that capable of taking the shots for me. And I use a gimbal. vital again, especially for flight shots, that you have freedom of movement in any direction. I would not get anywhere near the amount of flight shots I get without using that. Beanbag, great, over the edge of the car door. If you're shooting from the car, which in Africa we are continuously, so we can put the camera on there. It gives us stability and allows us to be able to photograph without having to worry about using a tripod. Of course, you're going to need your computer. That's something that you're going to be putting your images on at the night time to check them over. So that's something that you need to make sure that you pack, and that you can then use that for storage as well. And that's an automatic addition to the pack. And basically, a couple of odds and ends here. Basically, medical kit, more applicable to Africa or some areas where you can't get to medical treatment immediately, and hand wipes. And of course, I have a whole selection of lens wipes in here, which you need, especially if you're in a dusty kind of desert type of area. I always take great care when I'm changing lenses. In fact, I try not to change lenses. I keep one lens on my 5D, and I keep one lens on me 1DX, and I try not to mix and match, and that keeps my camera and equipment clean. And last but not least, the lucky hat. We should all have a lucky hat, and this one is going to be really lucky for me. I hope the next few days. I hope this is something that is having a little bald patch there. It gets cold in the winter, and it gets sunburnt in the summer. So having something like this just helps to keep the sun off you. So I'm going to go out for the next few days. Hopefully my next video is going to be like a vlog of my trip, and I'll be able to share with you my experiences, show you what I found when I was down there and how I went about photographing, and hopefully show you some good results. But until then, see you next time on the Better Photography channel.